So, Lenny and Belisi here talking about the final three, no, there are more things even. No, the final three things in this lesson, right? About passive voice. And we have one video about passive infinitives, another about things that you can do with the definite article, and the last one is about the articular infinitive. So passive infinitives, the ending for passive infinitives, as you see in the present passive infinitive, is psi, that is sigma, theta, alpha, iota. So the way to form a regular present passive infinitive is the thematic vowel for infinitives is always epsilon. That's because they're opposed to participles, which you don't know yet, which have an omicron, okay? But anyhow, it uses the E thematic vowel, and then you have psi. So, and the present infinitive has recessive accent, so it's lues thigh. Notice that the perfect passive infinitive has the same ending, psi, and you just tack it on without a thematic vowel, because the perfect passive, as we've said, is not a thematic verb form. Right? So it's lelus thigh, again with recessive accent. The other two infinitives, and the book doesn't teach you the last one, the future infinitives. That taught you any future infinitives, but we're giving you one today for the heck of it. So the aorist passive infinitive, remember we said the aorist passive has active endings. So you get the stem lu, the theta eta, which is the part of the thing that makes the verb passive, and that you see from the last principal part, eluthane. And then you add the ni ending, which is you've seen before in perfect active infinitives, like lelu kenai, and so forth. Okay? So the future passive infinitive, by contrast, has the passive ending, lu, the, se for futureness, okay, and the e thematic vowel, and the endings thigh. This particular verb has the theta as well as the eta, okay? We also want to show you a verb that doesn't have the theta, and there's a new verb in this lesson, the verb blapto, which means to harm. It actually has two aorist passives. It has the older one, which has no theta, and the newer one, which does. So these are forms from the that reflect the older layer, because we want to show you forms without the theta before the eta. So the present passive infinitive is just like lues thigh, blop. That's the stem, blopto. It means to harm, by the way. The epsilon is the thematic vowel for the infinitive, and the ending is thigh. In the perfect, okay, notice what happens here. This is a stem, aside from the other aspect of it, that its aorist passive doesn't have a theta. It's a stem that ends with a consonant. The actual stem ends with a beta. We know this because there's a noun, blabe, that means harm. And you can see it in the last principal part of this verb. We should write that down, by the way. Eblabein is the sixth principal part without the theta. That's an aorist passive without a theta. Okay, that means I was harmed. Okay, exactly. So, the underlying form for the perfect infinitive is be blub. Okay, but when you combine the thigh ending without the thematic vowel to beblab, you get not thigh, beblaf thigh, which Greeks couldn't say, but beblaf thigh, that is another one of these cases like the second person plural passive endings in the perfect middle, and the perfect passive and the pluperfect passive, where the S disappears from the ending. So it's thigh, again, that's the way we pronounce it. Probably something else was going on there, but that's the place where you lose the sigma in the beginning of the ending, which is significant, but something you have to watch out for. Okay, and then the aorist passive is blab, ni. You got the eta as the sign of passiveness, not the theta eta. And in the future, blab a, again, no theta. Se, the sign of the future, and the thigh ending because the aorist passive is active. The future passive is passive, okay, and has this thigh ending. And that's the way you form these infinitives, these verbs. So these things mean to be harmed, how are we going to translate the aorist passive. It's awkward to say to be being harmed. Okay, although we say that would be a precise, maybe an overly precise translation of the present infinitive. The aorist should just be to be harmed, and the perfect would be to have been harmed, and the future would be to be about to be harmed. Right? You can see why the book hasn't taught you these things, because it doesn't show you what to do with them. All right.